Hey, I'll call you back.
From the Chamber of Commerce has something she wants to go over with us.
That's a tough follow-up, but if it's okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry you haven't followed that, but
if I could just take my mask off so you guys can hear me better. Okay. I don't think I can hold a microphone. I'm loud. I don't think I can hold a microphone and go over this if that's okay. Okay. So in your packet that I've given each of you, I'm not going to go into this stuff, but the reason I'm here is because last year we had a meeting with Mr. Venable, Mr. Barnes, and Mr. Guffey about what we can do with the park to have a better return on the investment and what kind of tourism activities can be done. That was the coolest challenge that I've ever been given, so thank you very much for that. So my concern for today is I've had a lot of conversations with AJ, Mr. Barnes, you know, there's a lot of different conversations going on. So my purpose is to get you all up to speed, all on the same page. So in this packet, there's an economic snapshot of tourism for 2019. There's also our annual Chamber magazine that has a heavy focus on tourism. There's a letter from me, and there's a couple of other things of what we do. So you don't need to go into that. That's more like homework for you, but I won't test you on it or anything like that. So this right here is what we're really going to focus on right now. And if I could probably take about 10-15 minutes to kind of go through this, and then feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions. To get you guys all on the same page, I thought it was really important to lay out the finances because I know how important that is. Especially to our office, and just me in this position. I've only been in this position for a year, so I have done quite a bit to get my own self up to speed, to know where the money comes from, how it's being spent, and then where we're sitting because of COVID-19 right now. So the lodging tax breakdown, and thank you for Mr. Manning, he helped me out with this as well. The lodging tax breakdown is 14% for Jackson County. So the state gets 5% back of that, the city gets 7% back of that, the chamber gets 1.75% back, and the Heritage Center gets 0.25% back of that. So as I'm sure you've seen some of the videos that I created last year, we do a lot with our 1.75%. There's more to be done, and we're going to get into that because the purpose of me being here was Jason asked me to come up with a plan, and so I have a plan to present, or a proposal for a plan to present. So what that looks like in dollar amount, 2019 we brought in $277,346, and that's lodging tax plus the $1 surcharge that comes directly to the Jackson County Tourism Office. And then at the end of 2020, we had brought in $163,000, which is a 20% deficiency due. We could blame it on COVID. That's you know, we're actually doing better. The state tourism office projected everyone to end with a 50% deficiency at the end of 2020. So seeing 20% is really good, I think. But I always like to strive for better, and I actually think we're closer to 40% because we were on about a 15 to 18% growth projection for Jackson County tourism, and we are down 20%, and we never got to expand at all. So the economic snapshot real quick is, as of today, there's 868 jobs in Jackson County because of tourism. The expenditures coming in from people visiting saves families $537 a year on their taxes. And we've grown 280% since 2001. And that's not lodging tax, it's tourism expenditures, so the money that's spent in Jackson County. And these numbers all come from the state tourism office, so it comes directly from, they're the ones that collect the taxes and maintain who's making what. So in the report that you have in your folder, the economic snapshot, that's the state report where all these numbers come from. So 2020 accomplishments. I'm always working to understand our target market better, and that's actually this proposal that I'll discuss. That's what that looks at even deeper, and the gentleman, Neville Bada, who owns the company, who has worked with every major tourism partner in the Southeast. I've thoroughly vetted him, and I'm excited for what he can do as far as getting deeper into the minds of the target audience of the people who visit here. We produced 20 videos. I know I try to keep everyone up to date and sending the links when I get them on YouTube. If you haven't seen them all and want to see them, I'm happy to share them with you. So, not sure if you're aware, but Governor Ivey awarded $10 million to the State Tourism Office specifically for COVID recovery, a major promotion campaign, basically. And what they did to keep the tourism office clean is they sent the $10 million directly to the ad agency who the State Tourism Office has been working with for, I think, over 10 years now. And what they did was they reached out to every single tourism director across the state and asked everyone to submit 3 of their major attractions. And that was their idea, which I think was a good one, to keep everything even. So Huntsville got to submit 3 attractions, we got to submit 3 attractions. So regardless of the size of the community, we all got to submit 3. I submitted Unclaimed Baggage, Scottsboro Boys Museum, and Russell Cave. And so they're part of this $10 million ad campaign that is currently running. It did have to be spent by the end of 2021, so it was just all put into ads, but they will continue to run through, the end of 20 had to be spent, and it will continue to run into 2021. So that's going on right now. We had roughly $100,000 in earned media, which basically means because of the partners that I have with our media, we've had $100,000 worth of free stories, whether it be on the news, on the radio, local magazines, regional magazines, that kind of thing. The last one here, worked with Scenic Byways. So that is a road biking company. The road biking sport is huge. The folks that, if you aren't familiar with that, the folks that ride road bikes, they have like multiple computers on their bikes, and they compete against each other in a computer program. So we actually paid a gentleman a ridiculously low amount, in my opinion. We paid him $2,000 and created 4 different road bike tours using some of his analytics and programming that he already noticed were popular. So there's 4 right now in Jackson County. Here I have Bridgeport Stevenson section in Scottsboro, but the paths are, some are like 16 miles, 21 miles, so they do span a good bit. And as part of that, he put like where to eat, where to stop. So it's a really good break into that industry because a lot of the people in Tennessee follow him and follow his site. We're actually the first community in Alabama to be part of this program. So 2021, if we can do this strategy together, that would be my top goal of 2021. I'm just going to put that out there. I started working last year, and AJ came to the last meeting of 2020, working with Unclaimed Baggage Center and our local hotels to develop the Jackson County Hospitality Association. And the purpose of that is the hotels are the ones that pay up for lodging taxes, and we really had no communication with them, very poor relationship with them. They're our biggest stakeholders, so if ever in time we want to go up on the surcharge, which pretty much everyone around us is at $3, where we're at holding at $1, or if we ever decide we want to go up on lodging tax in any way, we need to have a really good relationship with them so that they don't fight back against us. And that's what the Hospitality Association has done, and I'm happy with the 2020 results because we're in such a good relationship with the hotels now. I've already suggested it, just like, hey, Gunnersville is at 3, what do you think of this? They're so happy with the fishing tournaments coming in, they didn't bat an eye. So I'm just trying to, go ahead and prepare, right, for what could possibly come. And that's why I'm excited to be here today, because I've never had a relationship with the commission before, even though I've only been here a year. From the onboarding I've gotten from the tourism community in the state, this is a vitally important relationship. And so I was really excited that you wanted to meet initially, Mr. Barnes wanted to meet, because there's a lot of potential that I can help with. I actually believe strongly that I work for this county, just as you do, and I'm happy to figure out how we could do that. A couple of other things I just kind of wanted to, I don't even know how to have this conversation. The Land Trust of North Alabama, I don't know if you're familiar with them. So I started joining these organizations on behalf of the chamber and just making a relationship with them and seeing like, why isn't there a land trust in Jackson County? If you look at their website, they're everywhere except for Jackson County. So I think in November I sat down with one of their employees and we had a great conversation, and she just put it to me plainly. She said there's not a relationship because the door has never been opened. But we have been looking at Jackson County for quite a long time. We want to help preserve. We see that that's where the growth is going. We want to do what we can. And I said, well, it would make me really, really happy if you had a land trust in Jackson County. And she said they actually recently bought some land on the Scottsboro side of where the new, they're like digging into the ground on the left there, on the way to Huntsville, in Paint Rock. The quarry, is it the new quarry? So they bought the Scottsboro side of the mountain, and a land trust is going in there. So I said, well, what can I do to help? And she said, we need help from the county for manpower, for, I guess, road access. They have to buy all this tubing and whatever, I don't know. She said, we buy all the materials. We would like to have help from the county for the work portion to build the road. So that's one of the things I wanted to ask you guys about. I don't know how I would do that other than sharing that with you. But to me, that's a very important relationship because they want multiple land trusts here.
You could set up a meeting. Mr. Campbell, I'm sure, would be happy to attend, and one of the commissioners or myself could attend.
With a representative of the land trust.
Okay. Just to see the scope of work they're talking about.
Okay. Sure. I can do that. And then finally, I do not have a copy of this for you. But this I'm going to leave. I don't have a copy in your packet. This is the proposal, so for the strategy. For the county, initially came to me with the county park, but I think I also mentioned that meeting my goal was to create a strategy for all of Jackson County. So I went to him with both of those. I said, what would it look like if we developed a countywide tourism strategy that had a focus on the park? And so this proposal does just that. And the purpose of this would be for him to come in and basically survey the area. So he would talk to area stakeholders, he talks to visitors. It's pretty extensive what he does, and at the end of it he develops a 3 to 5 year strategy. And because of COVID, I've asked him to focus more on a 3-year because he doesn't even know what's going to happen next month. And so what this cost, with a discount, $25,000 to have him come in and do this. And at the end of it, I'm going to bring this up to you if that's okay. This one is the strategy, the one that's kind of folded out that way. That is the feasibility study. Because when I talked to him, it wasn't clear 100% if you wanted a feasibility study like to add a hotel. So the strategy, what that does is gives a holistic look at building tourism throughout Jackson County with a focus on the park. But then if you wanted a specific hotel, or you mentioned like a boutique hotel, the feasibility study would be an additional study with an additional cost. And that's what both of those are. And that's the rest of my presentation.
We certainly appreciate you. I apologize that we've not had you here sooner.
You've been busy.
You have done some really good work, and the videos and stuff are great. I'm very interested in exploring some of these I explained their issues to you when we met, as far as us spending dollars on even in-kind contributions and labor. We're not doing nowhere near what we need to do on our roads and our financial situation, so it just makes it difficult for us to put dollars toward things when we know we're not gonna see a return. And we discussed that. That's one reason we were focused as much as possible on the park, because the park sees some return. We make a profit on, cabins and camping and stuff, so.
Can you talk about that for a minute? So I've met with Bray Buckner recently. I think you're the one that told him to talk with her. Anyways, she runs the wildlife management.
Yeah.
She had over, I want to say it was close to 5,000 hunting licenses since October. And I said, where are they staying? Huntsville. They're coming from Pennsylvania, Kentucky, all over, because Alabama, and I'm learning this, I don't know anything about hunting. Alabama has, I guess, the earliest hunting season in the country. So there's people coming, and because they're driving that far, they don't think it's anything to drive 45 minutes to Huntsville. Our lodging is atrocious, I think, our lodging offering. And so there is a lot of potential. I guess I'm wondering, at what point are you considering it a return on your investment or not a return on your investment?
Well, the county currently receives 0 sales tax, and as far as the county, our general fund receives 0 lodging tax or anything. So,
but what about duplicating the park? What about duplicating the park?
And the park, we do.
Right.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ideals. I mean, I would be willing, if we gave up part of our property tax or whatever to get part of sales tax. I mean, we've had these discussions with delegation, and hopefully we can have some more discussions in the future. And maybe you can be involved in those discussions. And
I just see duplicating the park as like, if that's so profitable. I think you and I have talked about that in the past. An easy return, the amount of people who leave, coming to Scottsboro to do, or Jackson County, and then leaving to stay.
I agree.
I think what you're talking about is making another destination for camping.
Yeah.
Closer to Skyline.
Well, Cathedral Caverns is working on they already broke ground on their campground.
Do what now?
Cathedral Caverns just broke down their, yeah.
But I think they want us to do most of the work and then take all the money off of the state, is what it boiled down to.
So the campground portion is not in Jackson County, it's in Marshall County?
I'm not
We need to
mistaken,
get a
I'm
surveyor
right.
out there to figure it
when we
out.
talked to the state about possibly doing something up in Hot Dog.
Right. They wanted us to put the money into it.
Kind of got from a sharing point to all them kind of thing, and we dropped it.
Well, if you could look over that proposal, you've got me to do the work, and that's what a lot of that is basically what happens at the end of it it's a step-by-step guide on how to move forward with tourism in the county and with Jackson County Park. And I consider that my job. So I would be the one to do the deliverables on what this company is suggesting.
Sarah, what is the $1 surcharge? What is that money used for?
$1 a day.
What is it used for?
It comes directly to the chamber as part of our overall budget.
So what can it be spent on?
According to the law, it's supposed to be spent on tourism development.
So it could be invested?
So it can be invested, it's spent on advertisement, it's spent on salaries, yeah.
So if there was an increase in it?
There is an increase, are you aware of Ditto Landing? Okay. Tammy Reese, she's with North Alabama Mountain Lake. She's the tourism department that's over all 16 North Alabama counties. She has been wonderful in onboarding me, and so she has been teaching me quite a bit of this. that is how they made the money to build Ditto Landing. They increased the surcharge, and the surcharge went into a pot for tourism investment projects. I would love to see that happen. Again, we're at $1 night surcharge. Gunnersville's at $3. I have secured the list of what every county in Alabama surcharges. We're below what most counties in Alabama charge. Georgia, across the entire state, they have a $5 night surcharge. So there's
That's
some
just
room
up to
there.
30 days, right?
See, I'm not in that world, I don't know that.
During camping is just 12% lodging tax. But
Camping?
Now lodging is different, 14.
14.
But we can charge them, and also at camping and cabins, we can charge them $1 a night, per night, up to 30 days.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Okay.
Right.
Sarah, listen, anybody else have anything? We appreciate you coming. You give us a lot to think about and to study, and maybe we can zero in on some of these topics and very soon work together on.
Sure. Thank you for having me here, I appreciate it.
Thank you.